Have you ever witnessed a player completely fall apart in front of your very eyes, only to rise from the ashes on the world's biggest international stage just days later? Welcome back, Blue Jays fans, to another deep dive into the emotional roller coaster that is our beloved baseball team. Right now, the Toronto Blue Jays are putting on an absolute clinic down in the Grapefruit League. We are talking about a 4-game winning streak, and even more impressively, 3 consecutive shutout victories. The pitching staff in Dunedin looks absolutely untouchable, painting the corners and silencing opposing lineups. But let's be completely honest with ourselves here. While the guys in camp are doing their jobs, the vast majority of the baseball world, and certainly the eyes of this fan base, are completely glued to the World Baseball Classic. And how could they not be? The Blue Jays organization has a staggering 12 players competing in this global tournament, including our entire projected starting infield. It is a logistical nightmare for the coaching staff trying to build team chemistry, but an absolute dream for fans who love high-stakes playoff atmosphere baseball in the middle of March. From the perspective of the Toronto front office, the early returns from the WBC have been exactly what you would expect. A wildly unpredictable mixed bag of triumphs and frustrations. On one hand, you have the face of the franchise, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., absolutely tearing the cover off the ball for the Dominican Republic. Vladdy is currently boasting a monstrous slash line of 375, 3033, 875, already launching a signature home run that reminded everyone why he is one of the most feared hitters on the planet. He looks locked in, his swing is violently beautiful, and he is bringing that swagger we desperately need for the 2026 regular season. But then, on the flip side of the coin, you have Kazuma Okamoto representing Team Japan. Okamoto has been struggling mightily, managing only a single hit in his first 10 at-bats. It is the classic March dilemma. Do you panic over a small sample size, or do you trust the pedigree? The WBC creates this incredible pressure cooker environment. Players are not just trying to get their timing down, they are carrying the weight of their entire nations on their shoulders. This dynamic completely alters the traditional spring training ramp-up, forcing players into mid-season intensity before their bodies are fully ready. And while Vladdy and Okamoto are dominating the headlines, there is another story brewing in this tournament. A story of redemption, survival, and a desperate fight for a major league career that nobody saw coming. To truly understand the magnitude of what is happening right now, we have to talk about the spectacular, almost unbelievable resurrection of Yariel Rodriguez. Let's rewind the clock just a little bit. If you look at what Rodriguez accomplished in the 2025 season, he was a revelation. He posted a 3-2 record with a sparkling 3.08 ERA across 66 appearances. He was a reliable, high-leverage arm that the manager could trust in the darkest, most stressful innings of a ballgame. But baseball is a cruel, unforgiving sport, and what have you done for me lately is the only question that matters. Fast forward to this current spring training in Dunedin, and Rodriguez looked completely lost. It was a disastrous nightmare scenario. Before leaving to join his Cuban teammates for the WBC, he made 2 appearances in the Grapefruit League that were incredibly painful to watch. In just 1.2 innings of work, he was absolutely shelled, giving up 7 earned runs on 7 hits. His mechanics looked out of sync, his velocity was questionable, and his confidence seemed entirely shattered. The front office, forced to make tough roster decisions, made the shocking move to outright him, removing him from the 40-man roster. He went from a trusted bullpen piece to a non-roster invitee, fighting for his professional life in the blink of an eye. But then, the World Baseball Classic began, and Yariel Rodriguez put on the Team Cuba uniform. Suddenly, the pitcher we saw in 2025 returned with a vengeance. Operating as the primary weapon out of the Cuban bullpen in their first 2 matchups, Rodriguez has been nothing short of electric. In a tense 3-1 victory over Panama, he tossed 2.1 innings of flawless, scoreless relief. He followed that up with 2 more hitless innings in a 7-4 triumph over Colombia. Let's look at the total WBC stat line for the man who just celebrated his 29th birthday. 4.1 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, only 1 single hit allowed, and 6 devastating strikeouts. It is a night and day transformation that has scouts, analysts, and fans scratching their heads. How does a pitcher go from getting historically shelled in a low-pressure spring training game to dominating international competition with the weight of his country on his back? It speaks volumes about the psychology of the athlete. Sometimes a change of scenery, the pride of the flag on your chest, and the adrenaline of a do-or-die tournament are exactly what a player needs to fix a mechanical flaw or a mental block. Rodriguez is pitching with a massive chip on his shoulder, proving to the Blue Jays and to the rest of the league that his disastrous week in Dunedin was a fluke, not a trend. This sudden resurgence by Yariel Rodriguez creates a massive, complicated headache for the Toronto Blue Jays front office, and it completely shakes up the landscape of the bullpen battle. Let's break down the current state of the relief corps. We know that the back end of the bullpen is essentially locked down. Jeff Hoffman, Louis Varland, and Tyler Rogers have their roles secured for the late innings as we head into opening day. They are the established veterans, the guys who will be tasked with protecting those narrow leads in the American League East. But beyond that trio, the bullpen is a wide-open battlefield filled with options, but severely lacking in absolute certainties. You have a crowded bubble of talented arms fighting tooth and nail for those final few roster spots. We are talking about guys like Braden Fisher, Brendan Little, Mason Fluharty, Eric Lauer, Tommy Nance, and Angel Bastardo. Each of these pitchers brings something unique to the table, whether it's a wipeout slider, left-handed deception, or raw, unadulterated velocity. But none of them have the exact track record that Rodriguez established in 2025. The fan reaction to this situation is incredibly divided, and you can feel the tension on social media and sports radio. Half of the fan base is absolutely furious at the front office, screaming, "How could you remove a guy from the 40-man roster after 2 bad spring training outings when he was a sub-3.0 ERA guy last year? Look at what he's doing in the WBC." They view his international dominance as proof that the team panicked. The other half of the fan base is far more skeptical, arguing, "Spring training stats might not matter for veterans, but he couldn't get a single out in Dunedin. You can't trust a guy who loses his command that drastically." This creates a fascinating tactical dilemma. If Rodriguez continues to shove for Cuba, does Toronto swallow their pride, clear a 40-man roster spot, and bring him back into the fold? Or do they risk letting him walk, potentially watching him sign a minor league deal with a division rival like the Yankees or the Rays, only to have him dominate against us in August? The salary cap implications and roster crunch are real. Every move has a butterfly effect. If Yariel forces his way back onto the team, one of those young, promising arms like Fluharty or Bastardo has to be sent down or exposed to waivers. It is a high-stakes game of chess, and Rodriguez is currently forcing the general manager's hand with every strikeout he throws in the WBC. As we look toward the conclusion of the World Baseball Classic and the final weeks of spring training, the narrative surrounding Yariel Rodriguez is undoubtedly one of the most compelling storylines in the entire sport. Right now, his primary focus is exactly where it should be, helping Team Cuba advance as deep into the tournament as possible. He is pitching with raw emotion, national pride, and a level of execution that demands respect. But make no mistake about it, every single pitch he throws in this tournament is also an audition tape. He is not just pitching for a medal, he is pitching for his livelihood, his major league future, and his redemption. Even while representing his homeland, he is sending a loud, undeniable message all the way back to the front office in Toronto. He is proving that the disastrous start to his spring was merely a bump in the road, not the end of his journey. The future scenarios here are absolutely fascinating. If Cuba makes a deep run and Rodriguez continues to be their most reliable shutdown reliever, the Blue Jays will have no choice but to reevaluate their entire bullpen strategy. Baseball is a game of adjustments, not just for the players in the batter's box, but for the executives in the suites. Admitting a premature evaluation and bringing him back into the major league mix might be the exact move that saves a crucial game in September. On the other hand, if the Jays decide to move on, Rodriguez has undoubtedly put enough on tape during this WBC to earn a lucrative opportunity elsewhere. It is a stark reminder of the razor-thin margins in professional sports, where a career can hang in the balance of a single week of performance. Now I want to hear from all of you passionate fans out there. Put yourselves in the shoes of the general manager. After seeing Yariel Rodriguez completely dominate in the World Baseball Classic, would you clear a roster spot to bring him back to the Blue Jays bullpen? Or do you still hold his disastrous spring training against him? Drop your thoughts, your frustrations, and your tactical breakdowns in the comments section below. Let's get a massive debate going. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the roster battles and the WBC drama, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update as we march toward opening day. Until next time, keep your eyes on the diamond, and let's go Jays.